What's up? Welcome into your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Friday, July 28th, 2023. How's everybody doing out there? Oh, we got our usual suspects popping in the chat already. I appreciate you guys. Billy and PC and Billy. Okay. Well, we looks like we're not going to have Buckeye Frank today. If you know Buckeye Frank's work, dude does some awesome video edits. You've probably seen them, even if you didn't know it was Buckeye Frank. But we had him on 6 months ago, maybe. I forget. It was after the season. But thank you, PC. I didn't shave today, so maybe you like more of a gruff face on a man. Anyway, so no Buckeye Frank. We'll try and get him back on. Haven't heard back from him yet, so I assume he's not coming on. But next time we'll bring him on, hopefully before the season starts. So appreciate you guys. Let's get into it. So Big Ten Media Days this week. Everybody was talking. Everybody was dressed up. NIL looks like it's doing okay for some of these guys. Got some shoes that are probably worth more than my car. So must be nice. Must be fucking nice. Anyway, let's run through some notes. Ryan Day had some little tidbits here and there, and then we definitely want to talk about moving the game, the Ohio State-Michigan game, off of the current Saturday after Thanksgiving. So first of all, we got a couple of medical retirements. Obviously, Avery Henry, we know he's been dealing with cancer recovery. Apparently, he has to have a procedure that's just going to make it virtually impossible for him to play football ever again. Very sad, but at least he's cancer-free now. Very good. So all the best to Avery Henry and his family. He's a pretty private guy, and so we'll hopefully see him down the road. I hope he stays around the program and everything, and we'll see what happens there. All the best to him. Grant Toutant, the O-lineman, he is medically retiring. Ryan Day didn't get into the details of why or what's, but that gets the Buckeyes right at the 85 number they need to be at scholarship-wise. So things always work themselves out one way or another. So looks like everybody's going to be fully healthy for fall camp, which is great news. Now, can we maintain that through fall camp? That's the challenge, and we usually never do. Somebody's going to get hurt. Hopefully it's not serious or long-term, but everybody's supposed to be healthy 100% by the time camp starts next week. And what is that? Is that a week from yesterday? Week from yesterday, camp opens. So good times. Day said he's obviously not ready to name a starting quarterback. No surprise there. And he did not shut down the possibility of an in-season competition. I think that's lunacy. I think that's mayhem. I think that's just him not committing to anything at all. So Ryan Day did call out Lincoln Keenholz, said he's been he really likes what he's seen from the South Dakota native so far, and he talked about Taiwan Malone. He likes Taiwan's potential, but expects to see more in a year or so. So I'm not sure that it sounds great for Taiwan's depth. At least in the 2 deep this year. Ryan Day also said the tackles are undecided. Josh Simmons, they call him Jimmy for some reason. It's fucking weird. Is impressing everyone with his athleticism. Ryan Day said about Josh/Jimmy, he's just getting here. We need to see what we've got on the field. We don't know. We see a lot of talent, but Ohio State is different. It's a different offense. Everything is different, so we need to see more on that, although we're encouraged by what we have seen. Obviously, he's talking about the difference between San Diego State and Ohio State. They talked about Josh Fryer, not named Jimmy. He said, I felt like he's shown flashes. He wore down a little bit in spring. And so one of the challenges we had for him was to lose some weight, change his body. He's done that. If he can sustain, then he can play with anybody in the country. That's why this summer was so important for him. And he's done that. He's put in the work. Now it's time to go compete. So we'll see that left tackle job. If there is a competitor, we'll have to see that play out through fall camp. Ryan Day also mentioned Luke Montgomery's making a push in that tackle competition. Montgomery got third team reps in the spring. Ryan Day said that he's in the competition. I told him the other day, I don't know. I know you're a true freshman, but you came here to play. That should be his mentality. Whatever he plays in the first game or not, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't play this year, but I see things in him. We see things in him and that are very encouraging. I think you invest in Luke, you're going to get back. He has all the traits you look for in a really good offensive lineman. Maybe it's game 3, maybe it's game 4. I don't know when it's going to be, but he's got a huge upside. So yes, expect to see Luke Montgomery on the field at some point, it sounds like. All right, so let's get into it. Ohio State versus Michigan. Ryan Day said playing twice in a row isn't ideal. He said it would be awkward. But is it worth breaking tradition for that, to not play twice in a row? If you look at the last 12 years, there were only 3 years where that would have happened, where we would have played them last game of the season and then the following week in the Big Ten championship game, if we didn't have divisions, like we won't in 2024. So talks have already taken place, he alluded to. If the game is moved, it's still got to stay in November, right? I mean, could it go back to the week before Thanksgiving, the way it used to be? And then we play somebody else the week of Thanksgiving? Oh, fuck, I forgot my goddamn water. Great. So I don't know. You can't play it in September, October. I don't have a huge problem moving it to the week before Thanksgiving the way it used to be. It wasn't that long ago that they changed that and pushed it back to after Thanksgiving. But last game of the season, does it have to be that? I don't know. I don't know. So let me hop in the chat. You guys hit me with your thoughts. I'm a big college football traditionalist for the most part. And obviously when it comes to Ohio State and when it comes to rivalry games, that's a really sensitive topic for most of us, but I don't know. It is weird to play somebody, especially what if you're in the playoffs once we have the 12-team playoff 2 years from now. If you got a 12-team playoff and both Ohio State and Michigan are in that playoff, no matter who wins the Big Ten championship game. Say you're both going into the last game of the season, 11-0. One team's going to lose, one team's going to win, and then you're going to play again because the rest of the Big Ten is like, all 2 lost teams or something like that. Everybody, the third place team is 10-2, at the end of the year. So playing Michigan, do you hold anything back in that last game of the year so that you make it to the championship game? There's that question. I wouldn't, obviously. I think most competitors, most players, coaches wouldn't, but there's that option. What if a guy's a little dinged up? Maybe you don't play him, as many snaps as you would in that last game of the season. You hold him for the championship game, and then again, you got the playoffs. What if you end up playing Michigan again in the playoffs at some point? That's 3 times in a month and a half. I don't know. But again, going back to what I said earlier, it only would have happened 3 times in the last 12 years if we didn't have division. So hit me with your thoughts. Let me know. Let's get into the chat. I'm sure it's going to be spicy today on a Friday. And somebody send me some bottled water. You got a bottle of water out there? throw it here in the chat, will you? Perched. Billy, PC, everybody's in here. PC, thank you on my dapper good looks. PC says he doesn't know who Buckeye Frank is. I'll, you know what? I can post you a link to his YouTube channel. I'll post it in here while we're reading through these here comments. So Buckeye Productions is his channel. He does some of the best video edits. So here, let me drop it in the chat. Don't go there now, obviously. Go there later. I'm going to write later. All right. Tipper, what's up? Tipper's in here. PC says everyone was talking, running their mouth, but yet not saying a whole lot except for what we're going to talk about here. Yeah, right. Pretty much. Tipper says Wednesday, August 3rd is the Hall of Fame game. Yep, I won't be watching that. PC says too bad for Henry, but there are some things that do trump football. Yeah. Billy says as much as it would suck to have to play back to back, I think you have to keep the game where it is. Billy, I assume you're a traditionalist too in most things. PC says I've never worried about the 85 limit. Yeah, me neither. Billy, you talking about driving? So I was thinking, where the hell is it? 85, the speed limit. I want to live there. PC says my vote is to move it to week 1, but if it stays where it is, playing twice in a row would not be the end of the world. Week 1 is aggressive. I'm not down with that. I don't know if I want to start the season off like that. That seems like your team, you don't even know what you have yet. Like, that's the thing about the Ohio State Michigan game being at the end of the year, at least the last month of the year. Your team has grown, progressed, come together, maybe been through some hard times, fought through them. That's why I think week 1, you just throw your hands up in the air. You don't know what the fuck you even got. All you've seen is practice. We're talking about practice. PC says, didn't Bama and Georgia do that a year ago or something? Yeah, with the playoffs, right? PC says for driving, there is no limit, Billy. Well, you guys are maniacs. Billy says, but week 1 gives you no build-up or any time to work out the kinks in your team. Exactly. Echoing my thoughts. Jeremiah, I feel moving the game is about as ridiculous as when the game was canceled in 2020, presumed because of COVID. Those bastards didn't want to get embarrassed in 2020. Yeah. And funny how they rebounded nicely after not showing up in 2020, isn't it? Yeah. PC says the build-up for week 1 against Team Up North would happen all off season. I'm okay with that. It would just give week 1 more juicy anticipation if it was against Team Up North. Yeah, I see your point. I understand that it's something to look forward to, something to get hyped up about. It just seems like week 1. I'm on board with you, Billy. I say late October at the earliest. You can still have it in November. You got 4 weeks to work with in November. So put it there. Let's see. PC says fans are always amped up for game 1. Why not make it a biggie? Kind of like last year, Notre Dame, but bigger. Definitely bigger than Notre Dame. Billy says, I get what you're saying, PC. I just can't feel comfortable with it. Maybe I'll have to. I'd be shocked if they moved it to September, even that entire month. I'd be shocked. PC says, you have a good point, Billy, about working out kinks, but if we don't have time to work out kinks, neither will they. Good point. I mean, I know it goes both ways. PC says, water, what the fuck? I thought you only drank bourbon, Joe. Yes, I do have to hydrate in order to drink the bourbon. It's like a cat chasing its tail, right? It's a cycle, vicious cycle. Bourbon chasing water, water chasing bourbon. Billy says, hopefully we'll just be playing USC or whiskey every year in the championship anyway. I don't know. Looks like Michigan's back back and rolling. They're top 5 team in the country. I don't know if they're going anywhere. Billy, get rid of playoffs. Yeah, there you go. PC says, I say, screw it, move all college football rivalry games to week 1, kick the season off with a bang, and then there you be back the rest of the season to work your way back if you lose. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Temper says, do you think playing Team Up North 3 times in a season will cheapen the rivalry? Billy says, you're nuts, PC. That's a good question. Temper, I think to some degree, you're going to get tired of seeing the same team 3 times, no matter who it is, Michigan especially, but it could be Penn State, that's about, those are the only 2 teams worth of shit in the league. But I would get tired of playing Michigan. The back-to-back thing is not great, in my opinion. I could live with it. If it happened every year, I think we would get fucking tired of it, man. Back-to-back, playing Michigan twice in a row. But PC says, since they held their starters out against the Ravens last year, the NFL game. They laid an egg and lost, but they still went to the playoffs. Unnecessary loss. PC knows Buckeye Productions. Yeah, it's a good one. PC says for week 1, everyone should be healthy too. No, yeah, exactly. Unless you get somebody dinged up in fall camp, but that can happen midweek in the middle of the season too. Full-blooded Buckeye. I know this is off topic, but since Colorado just jumped to the Big 12, Arizona could be next. You think the Big 12 will expand more out west? Yeah, I could see that. I also saw they were talking about it's an East Coast team. Was it UConn? I just saw something about the Big 12 going after an East Coast school. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Obviously, they need to add one more. Arizona, UConn, yep. Following Big 12 meetings in June in West Virginia, a source told ESPN that UConn and Gonzaga were talked about as potential members. Jim Mora is currently the coach at UConn. You remember him? Playoffs? No, not that one. The younger guy, the junior, Jim Mora Jr. Billy says, but what if we're breaking in a new QB and Michigan hasn't experienced one like this? That's a great point. That's why you don't want to play a top 5 team right out of the gates. I do agree with you, Billy. I think the game has to be played in some cold fall weather. Yep. And we can all agree that Cali drivers are freaking crazy. I think we're all in the same boat there. Jeremiah says, week 1 in Bloomington, do you see a blowout? I say by 20, 30 points. Would you say Indiana is on cream puff level? Yeah. I'm thinking more like 40, Jeremiah. Tell your buddies at work, 40-point blowout. They might not even make it into the end zone. So yes, I think that equates to cream puff level. Billy says we need to blow out Indy to set the tone for the season, hold them to no TDs in the first half. Perfect. Sounds great. PC says, listen, I'll put it to you like this. Putting my boot on the neck of the team up north will never get old. If we play them 5 times in a row, each ass whooping we give them would be orgasmic. And now you're getting a little crazy, PC. Have you been drinking, sir? No, I agree with you. As long as we beat them 5 times in a row, you can't beat them, in the regular season, beat them in the championship game, and then go into the playoffs and lay an egg. That's not going to look good. Billy says FSU ? Yeah, they could go. I mean, the whole country is open to the Big 12. I mean, they go from Florida all the way out to Colorado now. And even Arizona. I mean, they could, and now they're talking going up north to Yukon. So they're actually the coast to coast team. PC says the Oregon Duck and Brews tweet. Yeah, big things coming. I don't think that they would let the cat out of the bag to 2 freaking mascots. I don't think they would share that news with Brutus and Puddles or whatever the fuck that duck's name is. Billy says, but will that reduce everybody else's cut of the TV revenue? That possibly, but I would think you would escalate the contract then. If you're bringing in new teams, then the network should be paying more because you're getting more content, more players, more coaches, more pieces of content. So you have to pay more for that incrementally. I don't know. They'd have to rework the deal, I would think, as far as TV goes. Full Blood Buckeye says, I think so too. PC says probably by a little, at least in the short term, but once Notre Dame comes on board, which I expect in the next 4 years, dollars won't be a problem. That's interesting, PC. I don't know if those clowns are ever going to join a conference. I don't see it happening. Yeah, good point on the ACC rights, grant of rights. Florida State's pretty much locked in. Anybody in the ACC is pretty much locked in. But if you're in that ACC and you want to get the hell out, I know there's a big penalty and stuff, but shit, 1 year in the Big Ten will pay that. You telling me 90 mil won't cover that? Whatever that penalty might be. So maybe you got to eat shit for a year or two, take out a big loan. I don't know. Go to fucking check cashing place, get some money. PC says, I think they will let the duck out of the bag. Yeah. Okay. Billy, I know Notre Dame makes a lot of sense, but after meeting Notre Dame fans in the chats, not sure I want them. Exactly. Fuck those guys. They got a high opinion of themselves, don't they? For a small fucking school, that's not a big school, man. It's like less than 5,000 students. It's like the size of my town I came from. Yeah, I don't know if Notre Dame ever gets anywhere into a conference except the ACC. I agree, PC. They could figure out how to get rid of that grant of rights if they wanted to in the ACC. But yeah, Pac-12, we can all agree, right, that the Pac-12 is on the chopping block, is their head's been cut off. I mean, it's just how quickly do we scrape up some teams like Oregon and Washington into the Big Ten and actually at a good price. I think that's what the Big Ten was doing all along, is maybe they're going to scale back how much Oregon and Washington get for their first 5 years, like they did to Rutgers and Maryland. Big Ten had them on, kind of a wait and see approach. You got to be in the league for 5 years before you start getting paid. So maybe they do the same thing to Oregon and Washington. Big Ten's some cutthroat business guys, I tell you that. But Jeremiah says, do you think this Buckeyes team puts up 50 to 70 on Indiana? This would make my day. I never have been able to stand Indiana, never have, never will, just like team up north. Is Indiana like the team over there? Yeah, we're easily going to put up 50 unless it's raining and blowing sideways. We're easily putting up 50. I have seen nothing from Indiana in the last few years that has told me they're going to be ready for anything we got. PC makes a great point. At least Notre Dame hates the team up north too. They just can't call them the team up north and to the right. Yes, I guess the enemy of your enemy is your friend kind of thing. PC says, yeah, Pac-12, ACC, and probably Big 12 all go down. Billy says, I hope we don't sleep on Western Kentucky. They always have a good passing game. Yeah, that could be the first true test for the defense this season, is that Western Kentucky team. They're going to score some points, not a lot, hopefully. Otherwise, we've got big problems. I don't care if they do throw it a lot, but that'll be a tester for our secondary for sure. The corners, safeties, these guys are going to have to be ready. Fortunately, they don't have the athletes to put up a lot of points. PC says, I don't mind Indiana. They're fun to beat up on, kind of like your little brother, 5 years younger. Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. So in the last few minutes, I want to know if there's anything you guys have in mind. And you can also email me, Joe at the Buckeye Cast, that any ideas you want, any kind of specific types of content you want during the season. I know, Billy, you and I talked about covering the 2024 recruiting class, how they're doing their senior years. So I'm thinking maybe a weekly, whether it's a daily blitz or whatever, it could be in this show, in the rush hour, talking about how each recruit is doing week to week in their senior years. So that's a great idea. I love that. So any other things you guys want to do? Do you want to try and do a watch party, or a rewatch party? The rewatch seems to be a little bit easier because it's condensed. It's only an hour long typically. But I'm open to other ideas. Please give it some thought. Are there things that you would like to see, that you see on other channels, that you would like to see on this channel? Any topic ideas, please throw them at me. Give it a little bit of thought if you would. I'd appreciate it. And throw them at me in the comments, whatever. Email me, Joe at thebuckeyecast.com, and I'll sign you up for a bunch of spam emails. You're welcome. Just kidding. Let's finish up here with the comments. PC says, Berm says something about hanging 30 on us. I would be so pissed. Western Kentucky putting 30 on us, I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked. Full-blooded Buckeye says, no, Notre Dame fans are bad, but Team Up North fans are in a class by themselves. Special kind of class, right? Ohio State is 16-5 against that Team Up North since 2000. They still think they're better than us. Yeah. Yeah. They have a very short memory up there. Temper says, good, we need testing of their secondary. Yep, that Western Kentucky team will do that. PC says, I want to keep in mind, though, that those receivers for Western Kentucky are going to be covered a little bit longer than they're used to, which means a little bit more time for our guys to get home on the D-line. What else here? Billy says, any updates on St. Clair's season? No, I'll include that when we're talking the 2024 recruits. I'll give updates on Tavian St. Clair. He did just have a huge jump in his 24/7 rankings. He's very close. I told you guys when he was first getting recruited and we saw tape of him, I was like, he is going to be a 5-star. He's getting damn close right now. So yeah, Tavian St. Clair, we will track Billy, I promise. Jeremiah says, having a rewatch party sounds great to me. All right, one thumbs up for that. PC loves spam. I'm sure you do. The kind that comes in a can. Would you like that in a can? Yeah, they do have selective memory up there, PC says. PC says, leading up to Indiana, you're going to break down their team, give predictions. Yeah, kind of what I did last year. I gave you, let's see, how'd we start it off? Like Sunday night, me, Jeff, and Sean, we would talk about the previous week's game for half the show. Then the second half of the show, get you ready for the following week's game. Then on the daily blitzes, I gave you like notes, things that stood out to me from Ryan Day's press conference on Monday or Tuesday, whenever it is, player interviews, anything that stood out from that. And then any injury updates, things like that throughout the week. And then probably by Wednesday, start looking to the week ahead, the next game forward. And then Friday, I give you my, what I do, 5 keys to a Buckeye victory, something like that. And so that's basically the gist of the schedule that we did last year. We got some ideas here in the chat. PC, thank you. He says, I have thoroughly enjoyed your State of the Position series. Thank you. I don't know if I missed it, but Reese really does seem to be a monster. Thanks for that. Yep. Is that one I did today? Did I do Arvell Reese today? I can't remember. But yes, we will do throughout the season. We're going to prep you for each game. You know, I do my homework. I like to think so a little bit. So, yeah, we'll recap each game and then give you a primer for the next game. Badass Buckeye, what's up, Bab? Our whole season relies on beating Michigan. Anything else is icing on the cake. All right. PC says that all sounds really good. Your subs are going to go up for sure. Yeah, we kind of hit a wall here. Not sure we're going to get the 3K by week 1. We've got about 5 weeks and maybe a little less. So, and we're not even at 2,300. So we're going to keep fighting it. We need to come up with a punishment for Jeff. I think I volunteered him for some kind of punishment if we don't hit the 3,000. I think he was talking big one time. So yeah. But yeah, if you guys have any other thoughts, things you'd like to see here, things you see on other channels, we can definitely discuss it. I'll do my best to bring it in here. So appreciate you guys. 5:03. Got to take a pee and I need some water so I can drink some bourbon. Not together. Never drink bourbon and water together. That's a no-no. I know it's a practice, a common practice, but just know that I'm frowning upon you and judging you silently. All right. All right, folks. Have a great weekend. See you Sunday night, I hope. All right. 8 p.m. Eastern, YouTube Live. Hit the subscribe button, share it with a friend, all that stuff. Hit the bell. Hey, we have a bunch of people in here right now. If you guys would hit the like button, it'd really help. Share, all that stuff. Hit the like button, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And hopefully we're celebrating Sunday night an Aaron Scott commitment to the Buckeyes. How's that sound? Take care. Talk to you later. Go Bucks.